Hi guys, so this year marks the 23rd anniversary of the signing of the Good Friday Agreement back in 1998. There were a wide range of senior political figures involved in the culmination of that agreement. They were from Northern Ireland, Great Britain, the Republic of Ireland, Europe, and of course the United States as well. Two senior figures involved in that, of course, were John Major and Tony Blair. John Major, former British Prime Minister and leader of the Conservative Party. Tony Blair, former Prime Minister and also former leader of the Labour Party. Now, both of these men said back in 2016, in the run-up to the Brexit referendum, that Brexit risked peace in Northern Ireland. Leaving the European Union would risk undermining the Good Friday Agreement itself, which is a cornerstone of peace in Northern Ireland. They warned against it and told people it would be a mistake to vote for the UK to leave the European Union. They said it was a risk not worth taking. I think it's also important to look at how prime ministers have changed. Compare John Major to the current Prime Minister Boris Johnson. You have on one side a Prime Minister who cared about peace, cared about the people of Northern Ireland, and then on the other you have a clown who doesn't care about anyone but himself. Well, let's hear what John Major said back in 2016. It's almost like 100 years ago. Let's hear what he had to say.
Many people, some of them very well known, some of them not known at all played a vital part in that endeavour. And I'm happy to pay a warm tribute to Tony for all that he did, to the Irish government, and to all the parties here in Northern Ireland for having the strength, the commitment, and the bravery to see that process through. And perhaps above all, to the communities here and in the South who were sick of violence and deserved a better future for their children and their children. And it is an extraordinary achievement to come to Northern Ireland and see a successful power-sharing executive working here, a dream that was thought to be impossible a mere 30 years ago.
I think it's very, very important to look at what was achieved. There was a real belief in the run-up to Brexit, just before the Brexit referendum, that peace could be built upon in Northern Ireland, that something safe, something secure, there was a bright future for the people of Northern Ireland back in the early parts of the 2010s. And it's not just a pity, but it's anger invoking. The idea that this was all being thrown away in order to satisfy a fringe movement within the Conservative Party, a small group who wanted to convince the Conservative Party itself that the UK would be better outside the European Union. And any threats to peace in Northern Ireland, of course, were dismissed as Project Fear, as scaremongering, even after it became clear that there was a real threat to peace in Northern Ireland.
So I believe that it would be an historic mistake to do anything that has any risk of destabilising the complicated and multi-layered constitutional settlement that underpins the present stability in Northern Ireland. But that is what a British exit from the European Union would do. It would throw all the pieces of the constitutional jigsaw up into the air again, and no one could be certain where they might land. We can all be proud of what Northern Ireland has achieved, and that today relations between the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland have never been better in all our long history.
Compare this with today, where you have Brexiteers within the UK government on public radio not that long ago suggesting that the Republic of Ireland should be invaded in order to reinforce Brexit, to make sure that Brexit is not stopped. The type of rhetoric that you've heard from Brexiteers within the Conservative Party suggesting that the EU is the enemy, that the people of Ireland, the Irish government as well, are trying to force Britain to remain within the European Union. This type of toxic rhetoric has a consequence, and we're seeing it play out on the streets of Belfast today.
And though I've no doubt, whatever happens, that those relations between the UK and Ireland will remain cordial, I do worry about the prospect of a British exit, which would leave Ireland on the other side of the table in a new negotiation between Britain and 27 other European Union nations. If that happens, it would have a wholly negative effect on the relationship between our two countries.
And of course, all of this was dismissed as Project Fear. This was dismissed as scaremongering. And the responses, of course, following on from that, from Brexiteers were, how dare you suggest that peace in Northern Ireland would be affected by Brexit? How dare you use Northern Ireland as a bargaining chip? And this has all played out. Both Tony Blair and John Major were right. We're seeing the damage of Brexit today. Now, the way out of this, the only way I can see out of this is for the UK as a whole to rejoin the single market and the customs union. I've said on numerous occasions in the past, leaving the single market and the customs union was never a requirement of Brexit. It never appeared on any ballot paper. And when senior Brexiteers were talking about this issue, you either had some saying it was a requirement and others saying it was folly to think of leaving the single market and the customs union. So, as the damage that Brexit is causing in Northern Ireland is because the UK, Great Britain, left the single market and the customs union. It was never a requirement, and it can be fixed. The problem is that people standing in the way of fixing that problem are Brexiteers. Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?